Boy, it's that time. What's up? We're going to tint. Oh, it's been a minute. How you guys doing? We're gonna tint this 20% ceramic, all the sides and the rear. Also classes, those are coming up. I'm running one each month, March, April, May. So probably June, July, August, throughout most of the year. I just open up 3 at a time though, so if you're interested in getting spots, 313tint.com has info on that. I've got a handful of signups right now for March, which I'm excited for. And I need to do one more thing for my headphones. That's why. There's always something. There we go. Mob. Not Miguel. What's going on? And today, we just a whole bunch of stuff. A lot of focus on so much short form video. Facebook group, TikTok, and we got a new slip solution to play around with today as well. So we're going to see how that goes with Pro Nano. It's not available yet. But it will be soon enough, and hopefully it fixes all my issues, and I never have to talk about Dawn ever again. So, camera. We got battery. Shut up. How? It was... Must have not been plugged in all the way. Okay, well, the other battery's charged, so I'm not a complete idiot. Just kind of. Use the tint, but use the tint buster. We might grab it. It's always a lot. For as much as I've done this, there's just been so many things. So I might pick it up partway through the stream then. But with limited availability of my slip solution, like I was supposed to have a bunch of sample bottles. They were overnighted here, and then FedEx lost them. Yay. So they are not here, so I only have like one extra. So I want to honestly do more. It's like you want to do like ratio tests and stuff like that, but with only literally 4 ounces left, it's hard to do that with using other sprayers. Been a while. Like the layout. Thank you. Yeah, that's all the store stuff over there, which is pretty cool. We pushed the wall over, and yeah. For as much inventory as I have, when you put it all in bins, they're all so small. So there's like in the neighborhood of, I don't know, 5,000 shanks over there, but it takes up like 2 bins. I don't have many big products. Ugh, and then OBS did an update, so everything is gigantic now. This one. No video. Okay, hang on a second. I know you can pick it up. Yeah, it really does look nice. We put lots of lights. It's overexposed right now. I don't know how to make it not overexposed. Come on. Been using Ajax? Yeah, so what's cool is we're going to learn a lot more about soaps. Basically, like from literally a chemist PhD breakdown, any degreasers are not great for window tint, which is unfortunate. So all like the dish soap recommendations are no longer, like, here's the thing. It might work. It's not recommended. So I never hope anybody has a problem with it. I got over 2 years of recommending using added dish or Dawn into my slip solution, but I didn't know anything about it. I just knew it did the job. So shouldn't have any problems, but there's a chance degreasers will break down. Well, they will break down adhesives over time. Baby shampoo is completely safe, though, so there's no worries there. The biggest problem that I was trying to solve in slip solution was it didn't matter if I added all the baby shampoo, it wasn't making like Pro Nano and Pro Classic slide any better. So that's where Geo finally developed something and took lots of my feedback. So we have something that we're going to talk about here soon. And looks like everything's good. Need something that slips with no harm. Yeah, exactly. Okay, should be good now. So let's have a sip and get going here. I had to let this thing thaw a little bit because it still is covered in ice. Daniel Reyna. Daniel Reyna, thank you for the 10. Not much tinting. My 92-year-old mom fell in the hospital. Oh, damn. Man, I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope she does okay. Thank you for the 10. You can tint that with ice on it. Yes. I'll usually just spray the ice with soapy water. The rest of it, I could grab probably the hose and just kind of rinse off. Just get something on it that'll kind of start working it down, warm water. Don't dump a bucket of hot water on it, but once the glass is basically clear of the ice, like no problems there. Everything just froze over a little bit though. This has already had a little bit to sit, so. Tax season's good for tint. Yes, tax season is good for tint. We're like right on top of it almost. Some people are probably getting theirs, probably a little early for some others. People like me are more sad than anything because I don't get a return, I pay a return. Can we get a store close-up? Sure. Sure. So this is all the fun stuff. We just got the felt cards back in stock, which is really cool. So we have this rounded type along with the tried and true rectangle one. So the rectangle one's a little bit thinner. The rounded one, I guess I should say, is a little bit thicker, is an inch wider, and it's just rounded, gives you a little bit of an interesting grip on it. I thought it was a cool change up. See what I mean about the shanks? Like, oh my God. Tri-edges, the sides, tools, scraper cards, all these are all the handles that we sell, which are super, super nice. They have a nice little grip on it. Really, really good. I'm a big fan of these. Fun stuff, like literally, like tried to make them as clean as possible, and I really we got all clear bins so you could see everything very easily, and it's kind of good to get an idea of. Lots of bulldozers down there. Hybrids, we should probably, this is 100. This is what's funny. This is only 100 hybrids. It's probably less right now because of orders. But so to fill this up, you're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, probably like 500 hybrids in there, which would be a very expensive bill, but would also only fill up one container. What's that? Yeah, sure. He's got a bunch of glass aid rolls to do. So, and these on top right now, these are all the new seal guard rolls. Some spare ones that we have up here. So already doing a lot of that, which is cool. But yeah, this is where Jack puts all the orders together. I've talked about packing tables and stuff, and he likes doing this. So every time our orders come through, it automatically comes out on that printer, and yeah, then he puts everything together. So then we ship it on out. So if you guys got any questions about that stuff, do you have to go and tell people door to door when you were starting up? I never did that, but it definitely can't hurt. I don't know how many people like door-to-door salesmen, but hustling and letting businesses know and whatnot, just doing what you can to drum up business. I mean, there's any number of things that you can do. Am I hiring? No, not right now. I think Jack is only going to be with us as long as like July or August this year. He's going down to Florida for school. So I'm going to need somebody to help out with all of that. Do you plan on selling a tint solution? So this will be out soon. Tint slip, this is my only other finished bottle. All the other ones got lost in shipping, I'm sad. So this is the new stuff. And Pro Nano, Pro Classic, those are the main ones that you're gonna have tack up. So we're installing Pro Nano today. I've had that slip in the keg for probably about 3 days now. So that's why the pressure is a little bit low too. I only have a limited amount. While we're actually getting like the whole run, we had some shipped out early. It's been really, really good. So I'm curious to see after a couple days with Pro Nano if I have to freshen it up. Ever thought about expanding more and hiring more installers? You can be the big boss. Oh yeah, I've thought a lot about it. And the problem that I have is it's really, really hard and takes up a lot of time from home. So I don't like to do, like I just, my dad does that. My dad's got a big shop and he's got people, and it was a big headache to get there. Years of constantly working. So I like keeping things very manageable for me. And it's really hard to grow any type of dedicated team. It really is a full-time plus job. So I don't really have many dreams to grow this place a ton. My biggest focus, if any of you saw over on the Facebook group or the TikTok, or a few of them were posted on the YouTube channel as shorts, been doing a lot of work creatively, and that takes so much extra time. Like we've spent probably about 3 to 4 hours in multiple days to film and edit some of those videos together. The creative is incredibly difficult, and then when you're shooting it, trying to figure out the exact right shots and what not to do. it's a hard thing to completely explain, but I put so much thought and energy into creative that trying to keep other services busy and stuff, it's too much. Where did you buy the stick light? The stick light was Harbor Freight, actually. I think you might be able to find them like a handful of places now. But really bright, flexible, and does the trick. For me, really before Glassade, I tried to find the brightest stick lights that I could, because LEDs were still like improving a lot. So there was like these big rounded shop lights. These were always what I was after. So a really nice bright one, you can hold it on the outside. If you don't use Glassade, bounce it off the deck, so right through the tint, and it works pretty much down to like 5%. It's a really good option. I was a big fan of using those. And I was mobile too, so I would throw that in my toolbox. So a big bulky light was just another big thing that took up space. So I always tried to make things as compact as possible. Why does Glassade slip and move when it's hot? Part of that can be the surface of the glass, but it reacts with heat, so it just softens up some with heat. So in the summertime, that's why I take like a scrub pad and a squeegee, and I go over the whole back window. It's gotta be very clean. So if you have like a grease or you just wipe off the back window with a towel, it's definitely gonna move when it gets wet. The glass really needs to be like pretty streak free. Lights are a thing of the past. Oh, they still have their place. Even with Glassade, like down to 5%, it gets tough to see. I bought some from Geo and finally got a chance to use it on Wednesday. I love it. Oh, that's cool to hear. Have you gotten any Apex to do a full car yet? Yeah, I have it, and I've done some work. I'll be honest, I'm really looking forward to the improvement that they have coming soon. So the Apex Ultra 50% that everybody got, or a handful of people got to try that out, they've gotten such good feedback on that, including from me. Like, oh my God, the clarity on that stuff is crazy. So they are gonna improve their whole Apex line. I hear in about a month, they'll have 40-inch rolls of 5, 20, and 35%. And I'll be honest, I'm thinking about just completely switching over to that. Fill that up. So we'll just give it a little shake up, and then we'll see. It's been cool, like colder here, so I wouldn't be as concerned about anything in my tank separating anyways. But I'm curious to see. I put 4 ounces in there when I filled it up. I had 2.5 gallons. And we are going to see how this works. You're no longer using DSP? No, I use it. I just don't use it on absolutely everything. Pro Nano 20. All right, so let's crack this open. No, Pro-Nano, or Dry Stream Prep just got picked up by quite a few distributors, which is awesome to see. So I think they're scrambling right now to catch up on inventory. So once that gets done, there'll probably be more of it. I've got some dark tint. It's an add-on when I bought my Accord. I love it. I got used to it after 9 months of owning the car. That's quite a while, but that's cool. Oh, I gotta flip this over. Which way do I want to do this? Oh, okay. I shine a light over a glass A with 5%. I do too. No, DSP is great. I mean, this is gonna go right along with the slip solution over there. I'm gonna flip back and forth between certain things. You can't deny ease of use and accessibility. So if you use it like, if you use DSP like a dryer sheet, you apply too much. So you don't have to put as much on it. You don't have to put as much on the back window. So for example, for the classes, I show people that, and often I will have them grab some dryer sheets instead, but they'll still shrinking on both of them are very, very similar. The problem is just when you're brand new trying to use something like that, and if you didn't pay attention to the instructions or see that, you tend to put a little bit too much on. But when I prep the back windows, I use it, it just sets up faster. So right now, my brain is kind of scattered because I haven't done a live in a minute. And I just had to reorder some stuff and check on some other things too. Like I said, a huge focus right now has been like the Facebook and TikTok, so I'm trying to like reply to comments and be really active in the group. It's just a lot to keep up with. What's a good percentage to see in the whole car, but not as dark on the windshield? It's a good percentage to make it hard to see in the whole car, but not as dark on the windshield. 40 or 35. I mean, here's the thing. 50% is one of my, it's one of my favorite shades on a windshield. It's not gonna give you as much privacy, but on the windshield is facing up against the sky. So on a cloudy day, or when there's just clouds in the sky, it adds the illusion of extra privacy than there actually is, but you can still kind of see through to the driver. So if you want it a little bit more private, you're gonna have to go with a 40 or a 35. But going that dark stands out more. They're easy enough to see through still though. I love driving around with 35. I hated driving past cops though. Use your clay bars. Yesterday, man, it picks up shit. Gonna buy some more and tape. And I just ran out of clay bars. Thanks, man, though. I'm glad you like them. The clay bars will last a long time, too. You just put them under hot water, and you can, like, massage out all the crap. They're white, so, like, using a white towel, they start to look scuzzy over time. But the reason that they are white is so you can see that they're actually doing something. Where, like like the Nano skin clay and stuff, it's not the same. But you can find lots of synthetic clay bars. Mine aren't the only ones. Mine was like a way of introducing clay to the tint world because I was really impressed with just how it worked after a company sent me some. Like a while back, there was a company that was like, hey, is there any way that you can make a video with some of our detailing products? And I was like, yeah, that would be cool. And then I was like, hey, so this is the idea. This is what we'll do. This will be the amount up front to work on the video, and then the second half afterwards. And they're like, hang on, we got to get a contract together. Nobody's ever asked for money up front. And I'm like, well, I got to know you guys are actually legit. On future videos, maybe it'll be different, but it's not unusual to like collect a deposit on something like that. And then they just pieced out. So, okay, bye. I don't really have to pull this far down at all, do I? And I got to turn on the car. Should probably do that. Oh my God, I didn't even put tape. I gotta put tape on the seals. Let's turn that off. Unlock this. What's the best windshield tint for a Tesla? All right. If you want the best, Apex 50% Ultra. So if you're looking for something a little darker, if you want a shade that's a little bit darker, they still have it in the Apex line, but that 50%, that shit's nice. Yeah, so I do the deposit with tint jobs here. I can't tell you how many people were yes people, especially when I first opened up. I was tinting out of a home garage. So it's like you have people that call around. They're looking for the best price and convenience. And, hey, how much for tint? So, you talk to them about your options. And then they're like, okay. Yeah, let's schedule. Okay. How's Saturday? Yeah, that sounds great. And then they hang up, and then they go call somebody else. And how much? Okay, yeah. And then they book up appointments at a bunch of places because it was free to do. So why would you so as soon as you introduce that barrier of, okay, if you're committed to the spot, I take a deposit to book. It goes towards the balance of the job. Then they're like, these are video ideas too, by the way. We're trying to think of stuff. I think this will come off as soon as I put anything on it, though. I should take a picture of this before I lose it. What do you guys think we should do? So, a video on the top edge. This is for a short form video. Cutting out a top edge, installing a back window, dealing with dirt in your window film, and how to prevent it. Removing tint, I think that one will table for later. Walmart versus AutoZone film. I got some dry erase markers, so now I can just write them down. I write notes on my phone, but it's not as nice as just being able to write something down physically. How much of a deposit do you ask for? I just picked a weird number. For whatever reason, it's a $40 deposit. I don't have a good answer for that. You could easily ask for half down. And here's low-key, what's really nice about a deposit too, this isn't for everybody, but they're essentially installment payments. So if you schedule something even 3-4 days away, a week, 2 weeks, that's, for some people, it's considered spent money. So I've had some instances where like they've added a full windshield. Again, not everybody, but like I act the same way. I'd rather like, oh yeah, let me throw a little money down now, a little money down next week. Then on an expensive thing, it's not as painful. So some of your clients, if they leave a deposit, they'll come in, oh, how much is that? Oh, well, it's only $150 now because you already paid for the rest of the job. And then it's like, oh, that's not bad. I guess let's go with that one, right? Instead of like the whole amount up front. Have you bought some Yeezys yet? Dude, I am Skechers. Dude, okay, let me preach. Let me preach Skechers right now. This is the best shoe ever. And this is why. One, it's really comfortable. It's what I was wearing before. And watch this. I'm going to sell a Skecher. I just literally step in. I just stepped into my shoes. It's amazing. Do you know why that's so amazing? Because like 9 out of 10 times that I'm leaving my house, I'm carrying a box or I'm carrying my son. And I can't lean down and put shoes on while I'm holding my son. But now I can just carry him and I can just step into my shoes and keep going. It's friggin' awesome. I can't tell you how nice it is. They're so amazing. Why recut the top edge? I should have just kind of tacked it across the whole thing. I felt like a spot was wavy. Can you do it without socks on? No, these aren't comfortable without socks. But flip-flops and everything, those are a thing. So flip-flops without socks and with socks, whew. Dude, that little convenience of not having to, like, I started using these shoes as soon as, like, I don't want to buy anything with laces now. I just want, like, slip-in type shoes. And now they made, like, my favorite shoe as a step-in. Oh, it's sold. The fuckers were, like, $90. On a Skecher. Sold. It just, there's those things. There can be the most stylish shoe ever. No, not interested. Is that convenient? Yep, sold. Yep, true definition of dad shoes, 100%. That's why you rock a minivan. They're just too convenient. You can put so much stuff in a minivan. That's a sign you're getting old? Oh, for sure. 100%. I've always looked at vehicles and clothing more of like a functional tool. Because, like, for the most part, I was just in garages, tinting cars. It didn't matter. That's most of my time. So I just never really cared. So anytime something is just more convenient to do what I'm currently doing, I'm happy to throw money at it. Make my life easier. One less thing I got to think about. One less thing I got to do the same thing. All about that. Baby Crocs. We actually have got a a pair of Croc-like slip-ons for him. But right now, he's got little kid Skechers, too. They're light up. They're easy to put on, though. See, they know parents, man. So a little like Velcro pull, and then his foot slips in because he doesn't want to put shoes on. He wants to fight you when you try and put shoes on, unless you. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked here. Unless you start like counting, like you do like 1 shoe, 2 shoe, and then he's like 1 shoe, 2 shoe. Then he starts having fun with it. Other than that, it's a chore. How long have you had them? I have had these. I wore them all in the Philippines. I have had no, I wore flip-flops in there. I've had them. They only came out maybe in August, and I've never put on another shoe since. I only put on these shoes. So with the last pair of like fabric shoes, what happens is like the inside, this in here, eventually like the foam starts to wear, but that was wearing the last pair of fabric shoes every day at work, like nonstop, I think for like over a year. This is what they look like right now, but you can throw these in the wash and they'll look, like no joke, they'll look brand new. They're legitimately good. I just beat them up. They're a little cold in the wintertime, but they're fabric shoes, so they're nicer in the summertime. I'm not like a shoe guy, but I have definitely looked around at some of the other ones. Everything I look at now is like, that's inconvenient. Is 20% good for privacy, or can people still see a silhouette? No, that's the way I advertise it. People can still see silhouettes. So if you're looking this way into the car, it'll look pretty dark. But if you're in a bigger truck and you're more at like eye level and you're looking through, you can see silhouettes. Perspective is always a big part of it. If you want people to really not see in, then 5. 5 is really your best route. 15 helps a smidge more, but you know what I totally forgot to do? I was going to leave the patterns here. I was going to roll them down. I was going to put tape over the seals, and then I started talking about shoes. But it's kind of funny to me because there's a lot of different brands and like, you know, clothing brands and stuff, but both me and my wife are similar in that when we find a particular style or function or whatever, usually that brand has like a handful of things across the board that are all very similar in that. And so we then like go to that store. So like pretty much anytime now we walk past a Skechers store, it's like, let's see what Skechers got. And that's when I saw that they had the slip-ins. And I'm like, oh damn, I'm about to buy like 3 new pairs of shoes. I like the way the heel is designed. I guess that's what makes it easy to slip in. Yeah, they beef up the back a little bit. So it just, with the fabric shoes, when you step on, you know, like any shoe, it's like it smushes. This, they made this firm. That's really all they did. They put that, so when you step into it, it just puts on your shoe. Skechers have been getting popular. How, though? Have they really? Well, at least for me, they have. I feel like it's definitely a dad shoe. What software do you use to stream? OBS. I use OBS to stream. I have a GoPro that's hooked up to a HDMI transmitter and a battery pack on my head. So it's not super practical, but it does the job. It's about as small and convenient as I can make it. I think it's a dad thing. I think for sure. Unless I start seeing young people wearing them. Snoop Dogg was wearing them the other day? Whoa. Whoa, that's just, okay. Well, if Snoop Dogg's, he's older too now. But that makes him cool, right? I'm 25 and wear them? All right, let's go. Can anybody help me whenever I tint? There's specs. Snoop Dogg's a grandfather. Yeah, that's true. Can anybody help me whenever I tint? There's always specs all over. Does this have to do with me being outside? Well, I'll tell you, being outside never helps. Wind is one of the hardest things to deal with because your tint is a kite. So as soon as you get a little gust of wind, it wants to blow it all over the place. But the main time is whenever it's peeled. So whatever is going on as soon as you go to peel it, that can be environmental. Most of people's mistakes have to do with installation though. What tape? This is Seal Guard. That's this stuff now. It's official. It's out. 313tint.com. This stuff is super cool though. It's very grippy. And I like the white. Should I go to a parking garage at a mall or something? Well, that's a good way to kind of find out. Anywhere that keeps the wind down instead of being in an exposed parking lot. How long have you been tinting? Because if you, another option, like I don't have a garage, I totally get that. You can also subcontract for other companies. So like mobile tinting, I didn't go to people's houses. I went to other shops, not tint shops, and then we charged them a certain amount to do the jobs. They would keep our schedule busy, so then we didn't even have to worry about finding more jobs, didn't have to worry about checking in customers, didn't worry about cashing people out. You just show up, they have your day full booked for you. At least a good shop will have your day booked for you. You knock out the work, and then you're on your way. I've only done about 5 to 6 cars total. It's still not bad. It's definitely harder. Probably get a little bit more practice in. Yeah, go to somewhere that definitely has lower, that can block a breeze and do that. It's always tough to give certain types of advice when you don't have a space to work and you haven't been tinting for very long. But tinting outside anywhere is going to make it way more difficult. So the dirt is definitely likely just because you're new. That's generally the case. That's why tinting takes time and practice to learn. So most of it comes down from installation. When you do the doors, wipe off the top edge. Like we'll get into prep and cleaning. I have a video that details it a lot more, but we'll talk about prepping and cleaning. As far as taping the side seals, this isn't going to be necessary on a lot of newer cars. A lot of guys just do it on things with felt. This car isn't brand new, but I've gotten in the habit of just putting tape on the sides and then covering up the door panels when we go to tint this. So this is definitely a certain level of overkill. But when you have a lot of people watching, including customers, one thing the internet as a whole doesn't really like is watching water drip down the door panels. So covering up parts of it was a way for me to stop hearing about it. Because when I was tinting in shops, that's pretty much all I would do, was I would wipe off the switches, put a rag over the switches, and that's fine. And then my comments would be flooded with, I mean, even still, they see the door panels covered, and the next thing you know on, on TikTok, where does the water go? Where does the water go? You're ruining that car, even with the door panels covered. It just drives me crazy, so I do what I can to prevent that. I used to do an indoor storage facility. In an indoor storage facility. In the drive-thru, they had lots of light and really clean. Nice. There's a whole lot of places that you can tint in that don't look attractive, and you can put out really good tint jobs. The confusing part for new people is the new, is just being new. Like, so you look at the state of the car, you look at your environment. Cool. You look at the state of the car, you look at the environment, and it's confusing on where that dirt even came from. There we go. So now we can shrink the doors. Because in your head, it's hard to tint something a couple times, clean it 5 times over, you still have dirt, and like, okay, if I clean this 50 times, there shouldn't be any more dirt. No, dirt will come no matter what. If you have a messy installation, there will be dirt. So the reason why tape is helpful on the sides, especially when you're newer, is it's one less thing to worry about. It covers up dirt coming from the sides, and then you don't have to worry about it. But if you've been tinting for a number of years, I tinted for years without ever taping anything. It's a helpful thing to have. It's like, if you're a very skilled painter, you don't need to tape off the edges. You just hand, perfect. But if you're spraying stuff, if you're moving faster, or if you're newer, taping it off is going to be helpful, because then you get that clean edge. Same thing here. So we'll definitely talk about some prep for the doors, and somebody had a comment about shrinking back windows. Shrinking back windows, I have a ton of videos with a lot of detail. But you specifically said trouble with the sides. and getting them to stick. So I'll try and do my best to explain what's going on there. Just remind me when we get close to it. For plotter software, I'm using PRECUT. You can find that at plotterdepot.com. Tint software. Was that not even working? Tint software. Oh, hang on one second. No, that's all good. Settings. Oh yeah, it's on the wrong microphone. This one. Let's try switching to this one. 313tint.com. There we go. Plotter Depot. Plotter software. There you go. Do you even use your plotter? Yes. On the streams that I don't use my plotter, people think I never use it. On streams that I use my plotter, they ask if I stopped hand cutting. I do both. Spam call. Well, that's no good. We don't want spam calls. I never seem to be able to do anything in a video without getting asked if I've completely stopped doing the other thing. It's been fun exploring some of the different options out there. So making like that bottom loading video, I'm gonna do a video coming up about wet shrink versus dry shrinking. Answer spam calls, see if they want tint. Actually, not a bad idea. I just always feel like I'm gonna get more calls when I answer spam calls. They're like, oh, he picked up, call him again. And then that blows up for like a long time. Oh yeah, I've gotten Google's like map listing calls. Hey, we can improve your rankings. We can do this. We want to verify that. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, don't do any of that. There's too many scams out there. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I've gotten calls from spam numbers that have been legit too. So I still pick up some of them, but when I start to recognize certain area codes as spam, like we have the known area codes out here, and when it's out of state, plus I'm in a stream, so if it's important, I'll find out later. Most of the time you can listen to the automated message, and at the end they'll ask you, I've never heard that before. They've never done that with me that I've heard. I think they're supposed to tell you something like that. Oh God, yeah, we made way too many TikToks lately. This is just one long cord right now. I gotta switch it back over to the way it was. Do you wait to the end? It usually takes 50 seconds. No, because anytime like I pick up those calls, there's like an automated voice, and then somebody starts talking afterwards. And 50 seconds, God, that's like an eternity to wait on those calls. Both cars today canceled. That sucks. Yeah, we're in an interesting season right now. Like middle of winter time, just before tax season hits. There's a lot of like economic things going on. Has anybody bought a car lately? I'm looking around, but man, I've just like, it's not urgent. And so I've just held off. I need to reach out to a few dealerships. But we need to get a van or something else. And of course the vans just are not around. And then I was like, oh, maybe a Tahoe or something. Those are around. Fucking like 65 grand for a Tahoe. Like $1,000+ a month. And I'm like, I don't like it that much. So even on the vehicles where I'm like, yeah, maybe that one, it's still like $850, $900 a month. Like, it's just ridiculous. Hello, Tint Studio. How can I help you? Good. How are you? Yeah, so everything, we do sell tools and film. You can find it at 313tint.com. Uh-huh. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for calling. Bye. I'm gonna be real. That sounded like a complete advertisement right there. I don't usually get people asking that. That was really good. This is great. I'm gonna need that heat gun for the layer of ice on my truck. Yeah, no kidding. Well, once it thaws off, you can head on over and pick it up. I'd yell at him for interrupting. You can't do that. Hey, I have a question. Fuck off. Oh, now I'm demonetized. I'm tinting a 2023 Bronco right now. Nice. From Italy, good video. Thank you. Always be friendly. The ones that I always find really funny, though, are, it's like, hey, man, huge fan of the channel. It's like, oh, thanks. I appreciate that. I'm streaming right now. Oh, cool. So I had a question, and it's like there's no real connection in between. I'm actually live on the channel right now. Like, you're live with me, too. Like, it's somehow a completely different thing. That one I always find funny. It's like, no, I'm actually, like, doing a thing right now. I just ordered some tape and a couple tools. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate all the helpful tips. No problem. Thanks for the order, man. The film trainer is. I'm gonna have to talk to you about that one. So Marcos, he's coming up to do some clear plaques, which is an exterior windshield film. So that'll happen sometime in March. And I sent him a message. Marco, while you're in here, Matico, they want to break. They're down for breaking a windshield for a TikTok video. Because that would be freaking awesome if that's the case. I got to think of. Are we for sure breaking windshields? That's what I really want to know. I gotta grab. Kendall, it's been a minute. Kendall with the 2, thank you. Yes, sir. Really? So they are. They want to break some windshield. Okay. Whew. I gotta think. So it was like an idea that hit me yesterday. Is Matico any good? I'm assuming. Matico is one of those companies I've literally never touched their film. I don't hardly know anything about them, but they have this exterior windshield film, and I'm hearing more and more about exterior films. So I think it'd be such a cool thing to do. So he hit me up and said, maybe you can come up and basically either like do a video or just like some education about it. And it's like, hell yeah, let's go. And with all the short form videos we were doing, I'm like, that would be a really good, there's something there. So the best idea right now I have is literally breaking a windshield. Because windshields are expensive. And replacing them, recalibrating them on certain vehicles will be well worth having your windshield protected. So I would really like to, I don't know, I gotta brainstorm pretty hard about it. A lot of these ideas, they take a lot of thinking. Because you can't just break the windshield. It's gotta have like a really, it's just gotta be done right. So yeah, I'm really, I'm excited to mess around with some of this film and see if I'm gonna actually do it. But we'll definitely get a good video too. That's the idea. If you need the $29 tinter, you can break it easy. My favorite, so I messaged him yesterday about it, and I said, my best idea so far is breaking a windshield. And he was like, so like, let's throw a brick at it? It's like, good, you get it. Because to some people that sounds crazy. But to me that sounds like just good, just a good video. Have you come across hydrophobic coatings on front glass? Yeah. Range Rovers definitely have coatings on them, and random vehicles just are more tacky than others. So it's hard to exactly say where or like what windows are hydrophobic, what windows are not hydrophobic. until you really spray the windows and see the water beating off. I don't know, it's hard to, there isn't a great solution for the problem, because there's like the Squeaky Monkey glass scrub. That's probably one of the best solutions for it, but I don't think it's in stock other than the 2-ounce sample bottles from Sun Distributing right now. But you can definitely ask them. I can show you what an 8-ounce bottle looks like. What a lot of people in the Facebook groups will tell you to do is literally take a torch and burn off the coating. And that does work. It's just very shocking to see a torch being taken to the glass, but that does work. So be careful. Obviously, you're not going to cook the sides, but it does work really, really well, and it's very, very quick. I'm just not even sure if I could do that here. I saw a guy on Instagram use a torch. Yeah. We've been talking about maybe bottling some 8-ounce ones in the future. Well, if you got it, I would say do it. Because just having it available is a good thing, especially if you have the product on hand. And honestly, ignore the noise. It's frustrating, I know, but that's just the way the internet is. You gotta have a thick skin. There's unfortunately a lot of, so for everybody here, there's a lot of people that as soon as you make one product recommendation or one option, you're gonna have 5 other ways of solving it. And it's not that everybody is trying to be mean, but there's some people that definitely have a pretty, like, I don't know, they just start calling things complete garbage and ragging on people, and it gets annoying, but thick skin. Has Geo released their own slip solution? Soon. I'm using it right now. Do ads work? Yes, ads do work. But the creative with ads is what is always changing. So anything can be considered advertising. So like y'all watching the stream, I'm using products, I'm using tools. This can be considered one big, long educational advertisement. So like there's good advertising and there's just very low effort advertising that doesn't do very well. So the challenge is to always try and come up with something that connects with somebody that's scrolling past an ad. So you can do that a number of ways. Like Google search has just a lot of traffic and it doesn't have creative differences. So really it's a very neutral way to advertise. Now you're doing that in pictures and videos and animated ways, and it's a lot harder of a landscape to win. Because you're literally, like, ads are, you're literally trying to convince somebody as they're scrolling by to buy a service or a product. So anytime you scroll past that, anything, somebody has paid to put that in front of you. Like any of those sponsored posts, somebody paid to put that in front of you. So you gotta think like you are the customer. What things do you like in a company? What things in an ad made you click on them? And start moving in that direction when you're advertising. There's so much low effort out there, but it still is incredibly hard to compete. But yeah, ads, definitely worth it. Creative is always the tough part. Geo Tint Slip works great, but doesn't taste good. Not a refreshing beverage. I have not tasted it yet, but I would imagine that's accurate. It smells really good. It smells different too. That was probably the first thing that I noticed, was as soon as I opened the bottle, I was like, oh, this stuff smells really nice. I'm pretty numb to baby shampoo now, though. So when you use any of these, you just get numb to the smell. You're like, it doesn't even have a smell, and then you stop using it for a while and come back and you're like, oh, that has a smell. Why does my tint keg lose PSI after one day? There's a leak somewhere. If you hear like a little hiss, if you don't see any water, then it's definitely up towards the top of the keg because there's nowhere else it would lose. Could be the valve stem. So the valve stem should have a little screw, but it should still hold air pressure anyways. Or you might hear a hiss by the release. It would most likely be one of those two places. You can take that same soapy water and you can spray it around there, and I'd admit, if you have a leak, then you should hear some air coming out of it or see little bubbles or something. My guess would be the valve stem. All right, I don't know if I want to do this, but I might have to do this. So maybe just got to spray a little heavier. So this is kind of like a mix. You see the water sheeting and then starting to then separate and bead off. Yeah, that causes your tint to stick more. So this has been sitting in my bottle for, what, 3 days now? So little unknowns to me is how often do I have to change my water. I'm so used to changing it every day, but on a limited supply, it's a little hard to want to change it every day. So I'm gonna do this one, and then do I just replace it or tighten the valve stem that I have? Oh, hit up Sun Distributing. They'll solve that issue for you. Don't just buy one. They have a lifetime warranty on their kegs. They'll take care of it. They're good peeps over there. Yeah, the little stick there. Yeah, I'm gonna swap this out because I'm really, really curious. This is a good glass to try this on. Finding the right type of car to try different products on is really important. This is a good one. This is more in line with like I bought it from Sun Distributing. Cool. Yeah, they'll help you out with it. Oh, I'm almost forgetting talking about. God, what was I gonna? I was gonna talk about like cleanliness and stuff. Yeah, that little stickage. So it's cold right now. So when you have that kind of stickage, imagine what it's like when it's hot. These are the things that are really important to know, so you can adjust how much you have, how much you use, what you use. Oh, there's a super chat there. No fog. The software was doing like some update when I started. Coming to Christ with the 20. Hang on, I got the fog machines on. You'll get fog. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Hang on, phone call first. Hello, Tint Studio. How can I help you? What kind of vehicle was that? Ford Explorer. Did you want to do all the sides in the rear or just the two front doors? Okay, so all the sides and the rear, that would start at $290 in a color stable dyed film, and then we do have a carbon film and a ceramic film as well. That would help block out more heat. The which one? Oh, the ceramic? Ceramic would be $450. Let me check my calendar. Nothing sooner? Unfortunately, no. All right, hang on. Why is this? A few things. Wires on my head, and we need to do fog, right? Why isn't it working? Scene 1. Oh, God. Ah! I wonder if I'm out of fog on the other one. Thank you. No, it's definitely full. Huh. There it is. Thank you. Thank you for the 20. I appreciate that. Also, Film Trainer with the 5. See? Software update. Are you done software updating? Okay, now they should just work. Film Trainer, thank you so much for the 5. Coming to Grace, thank you so much for the 20. I love the fireworks. Now it's smoky in here. Okay, let me finish touching this little guy up, and we'll move on to the other side after some flip solution freshen up and... The guy was, like, legitimately asking about... Ooh. That's no good. That's no good. There's, like, something in there. All right, we're going to freshen up some slip solution and recut that one anyways. How much did this one cost? $450 for all the sides and the rear. I wish I, like, had a bucket to save this stuff in, but I guess we're running out anyways. Did you pay somebody to do your website? No, but I should. Let's put that down. flush this out. Because what I'm curious about is, yeah, like I said, ratios. So when something's been sitting in a tank for a couple days, it generally separates. And should be freshened up a little bit. So we're gonna pour new 4 ounces worth, which is gonna be the whole sample bottle, unfortunately. I'm a little bummed out, but hey, that's how we do tests. You don't use a water filtration system for your sink? I've got a drinking water filter on it. So if you look down there, there's that little blue guy. It's a carbon filter. I replace those every once in a while. So yeah, I do something on it. It just doesn't look like it. I need a different faucet head. I always hate little sink faucets on these big wash tubs. What an awesome laundry tub. I know who that is. Yes, thank you, Nick. It's been put to good use. Okay, so we got about 2.5 gallons. Let me go grab, which I actually don't even know for sure. It's a 3-gallon tank that I'm assuming I put 2.5 gallons in. Okay, so this stuff, we're going to, it says here on the sample bottle, 3.38 fluid ounces. I've tried this on 2 measuring cups. And holy, that's more than the other one. Oh God. That's more than 4 ounces. So that's kind of fun. So if that doesn't work, then just drop that in there. So if that doesn't work, then probably got to beef up the slip solution a little bit. Let's fill this up. So yeah, you have the valve stem on here. There should be a little screw cap for it. I lost mine for a while, but then I found it, thankfully. I like to put anywhere between like 70 to 80 PSI. This thing will go up to, like I have it set to go up to 90. So if I just like leave it be, it'll hit 90. But it's at 85 right now. I've never been one to listen to recommendations. 4 ounces to 2 gallons, that's double the recommended. Okay, so they're going... Let's, how do I say this in a nice way? They wanted theirs to be in line with, so, look, I had as much feedback on it as I could. I'm going to wait for this to get warm. Yay, there we go. Now it's new. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, recommended ratios and all that. They wanted it to be in line with pretty much the existing slip solutions, just so it didn't add any confusion. And to that I say, who really pays attention to what's recommended? I just use what I need to use. But I think that's going to be an evolving graph there. Because it even says, like, what? 1 gallon for hot weather, or like one ounce per 1 gallon for hot weather and 1 ounce per 1 gallon for cold weather. That's not accurate. Come on now. You're gonna probably use more in hot weather versus less in cold weather. Why are they the same? So, I like, what the fuck is that? I don't know what those are, but I don't like them. Have you ever heard of flex film? Yeah, I don't, it's not. I have, mixed feelings about that one. Not something I'm ever going to endorse. Where does it come from? I don't know. I haven't used it in a long time. Oh, I don't want to get into it. I'm just not going to endorse them. Is it a Korean film? Most likely. Why not talk about it? You never do. Never had an issue with them. There's just history and drama there. I don't like airing dirty laundry. Is that the phrase? I use it, I like it, but their prices might as well get backed by real film brands. Who cares about their installers? Yeah, I think there's a lot of not niceness in that company. In one of your windshield videos, you mentioned you love the ceramic for big windows because it shrinks easier. I could tell you if you told me about when the video came out. Because Pro Nano is going to be the easiest ceramic that I've ever shrunk, so that's what it most likely is. And that's what we're using right now. Yeah, it gets annoying, but that's the way I've been handling it forever, because this is, yeah, there's just some, I don't know, not enough people care to where it's going to do anything other than just, like, stir up, like, camps, one team versus another team type of thing, and it's just like, most people are interested in learning how to do it, and we have a bunch of other problems, not company drama and not Facebook drama, none of that. Just not enough people care about it. What people care about is just learning how to do the thing, finding good products, and because they get enough of their own personal stuff to worry about, not everybody else's. We love drama to some extent, but there's not enough. You're not talking about a big, well-known person. You're talking about like small niches and stuff, and it's not impactful in any type of a good way. Pro Nano is what I want to upgrade. Well, hang on to that thought, because you might want to do Apex Ultra instead. All right, so this is better. So my tank had been filled for about 3 days now. Whenever I made, I have to check on a post. It was either Monday or Tuesday, and I'm pretty sure it might have been Tuesday. Tuesday I had the slip. Monday I had the slip. I don't know. I came in, I used it, and it's been in my tank for a couple days now. So what's in here now is a fresh, like, 4-ish ounces, which is a lot. So if any of the changes, I would like to not have to add 4 ounces. So, but you can start strong and then back off. That's how I tend to go with this kind of stuff. How can you not charge more for Apex? See, that's where I'm going back and forth on this, because like, this film is awesome. The Apex Ultra improvement is real interesting. Why is it sticking more now? Oh, just kidding, it's not. A little bit. Well, we can't have anything nice now, can we? I'm gonna say probably bump up the land a little bit. Yeah. Because it was fresh. That was so fresh and so clean. You think that Apex Ultra is better? Yeah, I put it, so I have it on my Blazer right now. And you're going from Apex to Apex. Yeah, it's a noticeable improvement. What's really nice about Pro Nano though is that it blocks out a ton of heat. But Apex is a dual layer ceramic, so that's going to block out a little more heat with a little bit, like with the same amount of clarity. So that's one reason like I'm still using Pro Nano over Apex, was like you kind of have to pick and choose between good films, but Pro Nano is going to be a little bit more clear. It's just a high quality single layer ceramic. So they did something to the Ultra line, 2 layers of high quality polyester and 2 layers. So it's a little bit thicker, just like Pro Nano is, from Apex 1. But it's gonna block out more heat. But yeah, it is more expensive. So I don't know, I'll figure it out. I just really like the film. I put 50% on the windshield, and I was comparing it to 35% on the side door, and the sun was at a low angle on my way home, and Whoa, there is a noticeable difference between the two. Just in terms of clarity when the sun hits it. Can't wait to try that film when I'm there. Yeah, man, I'm excited to get more of it here. Do you make a good living from owning a tint shop compared to mobile? Both of them you can make very good livings. The nice thing about having a shop is you can take on more work and you have more control over your environment and everything. When you're mobile, you're running around to people's houses or other businesses, so you kind of have like these time limits and just a set amount of time travel is gonna take. So I'd say your opportunity to make more money at a shop or owning your own shop is higher than doing mobile, but you can still, yes, you can make a great living off of just purely doing mobile. I've done it. I think my best year with working with a company, I was getting like 50% commission. I did 95 grand in a year. That was pretty nice. So most of the companies that would sell jobs, I don't know how much ceramic we were doing at the time. So they were just keeping us really busy with like everything. $95, that's right. $95 hairs in 1 year. So it's definitely dependent too on how your mobile is set up, but making more doing mobile, you're not gonna do it with a lot of low price jobs. The jobs have to be a little bit more expensive. You have running time and setup time. That eats into your day a lot. You know, customer wants to talk to you, you gotta pick shades, you gotta set up, you gotta have a spot. If the spot's not ideal, yikes. Sometimes I would get to a spot, like when they would send me to a handful of houses, they would send me to a spot and it's like, yeah, there's no space in the garage. And they're like, oh, he said he had space. And it's like, no, he doesn't. Or, oh, it's an apartment building in the middle of winter. That's not happening. So I hard declined going to people's houses after a handful of those. So you can send me to a shop. I am not going to people's houses. There's just too much. If you're in a nicer state, obviously that's a little bit easier. But I mean like a warmer state in the wintertime. There's people, they fill their garages full of stuff. And then, yeah, they want to get something tinted, but they don't have room to open any of the doors or park. It's kind of a problem. Had a guy say at a garage to work in, it was a wood shop. I worked in a section of a shop where they built speaker boxes, but while we were there, they had to have that at the very least, sweep it before we get there, and you're not cutting wood while we're there. That was our 2 rules. I made a lot of money from inside that space. There's like the inventory cages, so you could open a car door about this far. If you opened it all the way, it was hitting the metal cage. Still worked around that. Yeah, I've worked in a lot of small spaces. Not fun, not exciting work, but you can definitely make good money doing it. There's a place out in Pontiac, F-150s, the extended ones. Yeah, the bed, they didn't have enough room to park the whole thing in the garage. So that not only could the doors not open, but you had to leave the garage open. That's not as big of a deal in the summertime because the doors usually open halfway anyways in the summertime. In the wintertime, whew, it's cold. That's cold. About to do a 95 GMC Sierra. Ew, not fun. I like to know the percentages, and I'll cut it at home on my plotter. That's a good way to speed up. The only time I go back and forth on that is you always have the opportunity to sell better in person. So when you pre-cut, it saves time, but like if it was ceramic, no big deal. If it was like a base job and then you get there and then they go, hey, I want to change my mind, or, oh yeah, I thought about it, I think I want to go with ceramic, then all those patterns just are useless. Not fun. How hard is it to shrink a windshield in the cold space? Oh, it's not hard. Outside temperature really doesn't affect shrinking times. What affects it is water. So like if you have ice and snow dripping down, you want to take care of that. And the rest of it's not bad. Because like the difference between your heat gun and like ambient temperature is so extreme. So your heat gun heats up really fast, way hotter than your environment. It's gonna do fine. Oh, you corner. Yeah, no kidding. These ones are not playing so nice with it, are they? Gonna have to, I don't know. See, it's tough to know for sure, but it's probably gonna require a little bit more oomph, even than what it's got. Any security window tint? No. No, I stick to automotive. And I've never used a baby shampoo. Oh God, people are talking about. No, I've never had a security film here. Yeah, man. Whew. It was tight. Why no security window tint? Because nobody's asking for it. It's not a thing here. Not unless you're doing buildings, then you can sell security film. Other than that, there's no reason to do it for cars around here. There's no demand for it. Oh, this is a sad day. All right. Yeah, put baby shampoo in it. Ugh. Here in France, the biggest company uses it. Oh, nice. On cars or buildings? Yeah, there's just no demand for it here. I mean, I've heard of security film on cars being way more popular in countries like out in the Middle East for some more obvious reasons. Out here, you just don't have quite as much. On cars. Detroit, ain't it a good upsell? I think there's definitely a market for it. There's just no demand. So once you find the right product, then you can start checking and like putting some ads out and seeing like if you can create some type of demand. Because like, who was it? I saw like a 4mm security film. Avery Dennison had it. And they were like, yeah, we sell a lot of this in the Middle East. And it seemed interesting. Seemed like a cool option. And then I put it on my car and it was wavy. Like, I can't even keep this on my own car. It just looks blurry to see through. So, and I've never heard of any other companies around here offering anything. So, like, it's definitely an interesting idea. It'd be more expensive, and you could advertise it as, like, good for smash and grabs. But just depends on the types of vehicles that you're doing. It's easier right now to sell a ceramic than like a security job. So could the security film potentially do both? That's gonna slide? Yeah, I hope so. On what I was able to try so far, it did a good job. But what's really funny is whenever you go live with something, that's when potential issues will happen. So a little bit of an older car, glass is a little stickier. We're using Pro Nano, which has an aggressive ass adhesive. I must say, I still filled up a soapy spray bottle. But that's part of R&D. So look, I want it to work for me. So if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I can't use it. So improvements for certain things are definitely going to be in order. But yeah, on the first one, I managed to get it into place, but you could see it was pretty rough. This is not a very forgiving type of seal. A lot of dirt collects in the top edges. So you really have like one shot at getting it slid into place clean. And if you don't do that, then it's not going to turn out. And you got to do it again. It's where plotters are really handy for these. Unfortunately, it's not the brand new Accord. It's not as bad as it could be for an Accord, though. Really not that bad of an Accord. They're 8 mil. I think the answer is on the manufacturer side, especially Solar Guard. Their 8 mil metallized film is amazing, very clear, strong as a nail. That's interesting. And that's like, so that's a cool option. I don't know much about it, but it's what I always like about low-key products. Is sometimes you never know until it gets that right light shined on it, and then everybody is all of a sudden talking about it. See who needs a plotter. Oh. Oh, that's this one here. All the dirt. Yeah, all the back and forth. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so a couple things. Like, see that? That right there? That, like, grabbiness? Lots of dirt that sits under there, and every time you do that, generally jets some more down. So you're never quite sure when you have it, like, perfectly clean unless you flush it a bunch of times. If only you had a plotter. Then I go back and forth between like loading the plotter. I don't know the exact pattern it's gonna spit out. And I just changed the blade in it too, so I don't know if it's set up for ceramic. I just spent so much time doing TikTok and some creative videos over the past like week. So whenever I put too much focus into one thing, other things suffer. That looks like the solution from the milk video. I can tell you, it's still tacking up. These are not super fun windows, but that worked a little bit better, but it was a lot. For the size of the bottle, probably heavier than I would do, even on a door, just to try and knock it into place. Hopefully I didn't make it too long. I should have just cut it exact, but yeah. So it's been a mix of things. I've had jobs, but it's definitely been on the slower side of things. And I notice trends and whatnot. So the like frustrating thing of putting so much effort into YouTube is like the whole platform slowly like evolves. So a lot of YouTube is bringing something unique to the table with a really good title and thumbnail. And the types of videos that I do aren't necessarily gonna do the greatest on that platform. They're like good and searchable over time. But there's just a lot of videos in that whole space, and the information doesn't change all that much or necessarily get very exciting. So every once in a while we can do something fun with like Walmart. But even that has run its course to a point. So still definitely putting effort into that. But short form, there is a healthy appetite for dense information in short form videos right now. And it's stuff that I didn't even know if I could pull off. So like I did some like back window tool videos. I did some door window ones. I had the fun one where we did the Walmart film again. Yesterday we did a windshield one. That one's doing really well. So it's like, I have a good idea of what needs to be in a video. Where I'm really struggling is like, there's two ways. There's the way that you view stuff on YouTube is through a thumbnail and a title, and then you decide to watch it. On TikTok, it's all auto-played serve videos. So, see, yeah, MacDo in the way, right? The Walmart one, yeah, and even like my family saw those videos. Other people are sharing them. Like they're very shareable. They're just catchier. It's just a completely different and interesting format. What was always frustrating to me was like I never felt like a minute was long enough, and it's still not quite long enough. But you can make some good videos with that amount of time. So we've been having a lot of fun with that. And a big focus, too, has been, I hope everybody here is at least in the Window Tint Stuff group on Facebook. I'm not the biggest Facebook fan, but that is where conversations happen. So anytime people are asking how to do stuff, it's happening in that group. So I'm taking a lot of those short form videos and helpful things and whatnot that, you know, if sorry you didn't see it when it was posted, here it is now. Or I can do just kind of on the spot video replies. That's all stuff I can't do on YouTube, and I can't do that on TikTok. But we've been able to build a really good Facebook group. I don't care for Facebook either. Yeah, I pretty much exclusively go to my group. That's it. That's all I use it for. But I know that I can't build my own platform and do the exact same thing because you gotta use a platform that people are already at. You can't build something on your own and expect people to join it. It's just too far out. You gotta kind of You gotta be where people are in the way that they're already doing what they're doing. So I'm kind of like, hey, if you want to learn, you can go on YouTube. Well, that's kind of evolved into, I have really good explanation videos, and if you want to go more in depth, YouTube is there. But now it's really, this year's gonna be a big shift into, you can pretty much be anywhere you already are, and if you have some type of question about tinting, there should be something helpful from me there. That's the big idea with it all. I think that's really been a fundamental shift from just the platforms for a while now. People are going to consume what they want to consume, where they want to consume it. I noticed one of your videos you live streamed a couple of weeks ago doesn't show on your list of videos. Huh. I didn't do that one on purpose. I don't know. So probably sometime next week, I'll do a live stream tint class on TikTok. Like that's literally like the types of stuff that I think I have to do nowadays. It's just make something for this place, make something for that place, make something for over here, make something for over there, and you just kind of like scatter things around, but you always have to be really conscious of the way that platform works. And there's little differences from one to the next. Tricky, very, very tricky. Does AutoZone have decent film for the price? You can buy you can buy smaller quantities of like meh film, but you like Costco. The good films are all on window tinting websites, and they're usually in minimums of like 50 feet. So if you were to spend this, if you were to buy 50 feet of AutoZone film, you'd actually spend a shocking amount of money compared to like a good film. 313tint.com. Black magic. Yep. Ooh. So the thing about a lot of the like auto parts places that you can buy films is that they're like you know, it's like anything that you buy from Walmart. It's Walmart. You're not expecting to get high-end quality of a lot of stuff there. You're getting there because it's a value. So you're getting like a value budgeted window film option. Is it film? Yeah. Is it going to do the job? Yeah. Is it going to be as good as a professional option? No. It's like going to buy what? Wood from Home Depot? Like there's quality brand, like it, I don't know, can you buy Snap-on in Home Depot? There's just certain things that are not going to be available in those places. And a lot of the people that are buying those things aren't any type of professional. They're just doing it because they need a quick, cheap option to do the job. I don't think you're saving money when you compare prices. Yeah, that's and I've said that in a video a while back, and the response that I got from some people is like, well, I'm only spending like $10 or $20 at a time versus having to pay for a full roll. And that's fair. That's definitely fair. But when you calculate square footage, you're paying far more at $20 for 6.5 feet of Black Magic ceramic than you're paying for what? Even like Apex Ultra? It's not even a comparison. But they also have money in the packaging, leaving it on the shelf. They know that people aren't professionals buying it. And when I made a video showing the haze, I had enough people say, oh, that's fine, it blocks heat. I don't care about that. Who cares? Stop dogging Walmart film. All right. So there's a market for it. That's how it is. I have my opinions about it, but hey, it's easier to go with the market than go against it. So same thing with YouTube. I could yell and scream about the way that the platform is, and honestly, it's just like, you can't argue with the viewership. It is what it is. Adapt or lose. Hello, Tint Studio. How can I help you? Unfortunately, I'm all booked up for today. Have a good one. You guys calling it at 3. So do dyed films block the sun or just carbon and ceramic? Well, okay, so there's light and then there's heat. So they'll make your cars darker, but yeah, the heat is carbon and ceramic. Carbon's gonna block more when it's darker. Ceramic blocks more than carbon does in any of the shades. So there's value advantages to all of them. Do you get slight contamination or not? Yeah, sure. If you go around the job, you'll be able to find something here or there. But you gotta look hard to find it. Nobody's got a perfect window. But here's the thing. If somebody is like, hey, what is this? You got 2 choices. You can try and explain it away and expectations and all that, but most people are reasonable. So if you have something that somebody is complaining about, you should take care of it. And you can also give that little explanation of, nothing's going to be perfect, but I will do my best to take care of this for you. Because that's good customer service. You do not ever want to brush off your customers like that. Don't try and argue them out the door. Let them know that you care about how they feel about the work that you've done. Don't just go like, hey, yeah, I see that. That's just kind of how it is, unless there's literally nothing you can do about it. But if it's a small speck or something and it bugs somebody, they got to live with it. Every time they look at that car, they're going to look at that spec and they're going to think about you not taking care of them. They'll just go somewhere else next time. Nowadays, I think a lot of people, like, you can return stuff to shops or to retail stores within their return policy. But when it comes to like service-based industries, I think people almost expect that they have to argue with somebody. So when you go out of your way to address their concerns, that goes a long way. You'll get really good referrals off of that. Take care of every person that comes to your business. So it's hard. It's like, you don't ever want to say, like, you don't want to scare people. You don't want to say, like, hey, there's going to be dirt in your tint job, because that just makes you sound like a hacky tinter making excuses. When you look at a job, it should be incredibly hard to find something wrong with the job. You should have this impression of, like, whoa, that looks great. So that's what I like to tell everybody and explain. Like, if you're not sure, like, tint the window, give it a good once over, check it out. Don't pull your hair out over one teeny tiny little speck in like a bottom corner or something. What tape do you use? Oh, see this? So this has been sitting in my tank for a couple days. We swapped out the tank, but there's still old water in the hose here. So this is kind of what a stickier installation would look like. Even if it looks flat, it still can be tacky, but you don't want it to look like that. What tape do you use and where can I get it? It's called Glacade Seal Tape. 313tint.com. That's where you can find it. It's good stuff. I'm really proud of this stuff. Kicking that $15 Lowe's tape to the curb. All right, so now let's see. Still a little bit here, but it's a lot more flat here. But this is what would be freshened up in comparison to what it was. Here, let me break out something. Yeah, so there's a lot of people that try to be too perfect. When you go to buy a car, a lot of people do a quick once-over of the car. It looks great out in the parking lot. They get in it, they drive away. There's any number of little swirls in the paint, little panel gaps, little imperfections that are just hard to pay attention and notice. So with all that, scrub this down. So with all that, you know, take that into consideration with your own work. There's you have an eye for it all. Your customers are not, as a whole, are not going to be as nitpicky as you because they're not a tinter. So as long as you really care about the work that you put out and you do a good job, let it go. And then when it comes, if you have an issue, then you take care of it. I learned that lesson from being like a stickler about working at my dad's shop, doing jobs. Oh, questions. So the job should be fine. It should go away. It should be good. Oh, this looks way better now. These are just some shitty windows, man. But yeah, take care of it if there's an issue. That's the main takeaway from that. Don't be overly critical. Be critical enough. Oh yeah, when I was working at my dad's shop, they would give me too many cars to do in a day. And then I had no choice but to let work go. And then when I paid attention, it's like, oh, there's a lot of stuff that is just, there's a lot of stuff that is just not coming back. Why is that? I wonder. You see more than everybody else sees. What's that stuff you use on the pad? I don't want to talk about it. Because they're gonna be mad at me. They're gonna be happy and mad at the same time. It's called Rewind to Raw. If you search Squeaky Monkey, it's this stuff. It comes from a company, Sun Distributing. So if you bug them, they're gonna be like, okay, I guess we'll bottle it. but it's just kind of funny because it hasn't come up in quite a long time now. It's been out for a long time. Use tap water? Yeah, filtered. You can still use tap water in most cases, but like if you're in a place with hard well water, you know, and some places have more bits in their water than others. There's a little bit, like filled up my tank a couple times, and the city had like redone the plumbing around here, and I was getting shit in my tint one day. Like, had to redo a window like 3 times in a row from random speckles and stuff. And then we changed out the water finally, and then it all went away. I thought it was just my bad. It's usually my bad. Sometimes it's not. All right, so what did we learn? We had enough problems with the quarter window. The only thing about using this stuff and like a lot of others is like I don't think there's anything that's good to get in the little corners there. So, and this stuff has a little grit to it as well. So you just want to make sure you thoroughly clean it off. You can work it in there pretty well with the tri-edge pad. That's probably as good as you're gonna get though. I don't think there is any type of a spray-on solution though. I've tried using ATR and that kind of helps. I think on some old cars, there just can be some buildup on the glass that causes them to just naturally be like hydrophobic. I don't think there's anything added to this glass. I mean, possibly it was cleaned and then oversprayed with something, but I don't think anybody really intentionally puts ceramic coatings on the inside of their window, at least on a car like this. So that looks better. Thank you for my package today. Oh, cool. Yeah, grab your torch to get rid of it. Man, I did it on my own Blazer. I can appreciate it. It's a hard thing for me to want to do in a space like this. Hang on, let me take a torch to the inside of your car real quick. Dude, you are gonna freak some people out if they see it. That's the only disclaimer there. So, it works, and if you're careful, you're fine. But I remember when people started taking torches to window tint, everybody was shocked. They're like, you're gonna light the car on fire. It's gonna damage it. Set the internet on, like I said, okay. I missed that part. Yeah, you get it. You get it. It's like water on door panels, man. You can't change how some people feel about it, whether or not it's okay. All right, so on these quarters, and any quarter is really similar to it, there's almost this like, there's like this indent all the way around because you got that gasket all the way around the window. So you can use the flat edge of the film, line it up along the bottom. You can put the edge of your film over one of these corners. So what that's going to do is allow you to cut that without making it bunch up in the corner. And then from there, once you start on that corner, then you can go to really the other side. So you don't have to get like completely in all the corners because you can round all those off, but just get close enough. And then make all your finishing cuts off. You can do it on the board, you can do it on the car, whatever you want to do, but kind of round everything off and smooth it all out. And since we're over here, we'll do this on the, we can shrink it on the board too. See, just round this out. That's all good. Using a torch is an extreme way to shrink the film. Yeah, and when you get used to it, it's not crazy. A heat gun, believe it or not, will heat up the glass more than a torch will because you have to move so much faster with a torch. You know, it's like running your hand over the flame of a candle. You can do it very quickly. If you leave it sitting there, it'll get hot. A heat gun is a more gradual heat, so it has time to kind of like soak into the film and pass into the window while you're shrinking corners and stuff. You just have more heat exposed for a longer period of time. Heat guns, you can go really quickly. But if you have tighter corners and stuff, you can still get that glass real friggin' hot. It was really funny though, because the glass shop that I tinted for, they were pretty much how do you say? They would blame us if a God, what was it called? The little defroster tabs. If that fell off while we were doing a job, they would blame us because he was convinced we would get the glass hot and melt the solder. And it's like, no. If we're melting solder, we have way more problems going on. There's going to be a burn hole in that film. So I'm going to say that was not the case. But they sure felt like it was. But it's not like we hardly ever had a problem with defroster tabs coming off. All right, boys. Yeah, he was a smart guy too, so that one always confused me a little bit. Holy water. That's why the panels are covered. There's so much shit that collects in those top edges, and they are never washed out. Not until you go to tint them, because who is going to take anything and flush out their seals? You can't get a towel up here. You're just mashing dirt into the corners. They're literally like dirt scoops. So if you got the windows rolled down, what do you think's happening? It's not good at all. Oh, please don't do that. Don't do that to me. Oh, it's gonna do that to me, isn't it? Oh wait, we might have got it. Ooh, I think we got it. Okay. Whenever it's like slightly, it's like pressed up against the seal. No, I know. Oh, everything's monotone. Everything's monotone. I hear the same voice for everybody. Ugh. Sarcasm is very dry. Yay! That went pretty well, I'd say. Good deal. That slid better, too. Yikes. All right, dudes. Here's the thing. And this involves more research and trial and errors and stuff. I don't know this for sure, but I have a pretty good hunch. When you clean glass off, there's probably some type of residue there on older cars that doesn't immediately come off. So the reason that this stuff existed was to take off hydrophobic coatings, but it's probably handy to keep around for cleaning glass like this off, because I've always said some cars are stickier, some cars are not as sticky. But both those slid better. So I think we cleaned something off the window that just wasn't going to come off scraping it. I don't know. It's weird. Anyways, got a Fusion squeegee with your squeegee handle. Like it? Nice. Glad to hear it. All right, so now we got a back window to do. So we can talk about shrinking. Canon. Hang on, I'll do the back window, but that is driving me crazy right now. Why does this always fall over? Your videos on how to tint and the benefits of ceramic allow me to tint my car and keep this Arizona sun from baking us on a road trip. Thanks. Hey, that's awesome. It's the scrubbing that works. Why? That to me still, it's too advanced for my small brain. Why would scrubbing, like, just, I don't think, it's got to be with the thing though. I don't think just the act of scrubbing would do anything. I don't think it would do anything that a razor blade wouldn't do. What about the solder? What are we soldering? No, we're heating up glass so much that it melts solder. Okay, this is going to be also while we're here, because I want to check. I don't know, we're taking a journey over to the Facebook group real quick. So if you're not in the Facebook group, definitely join it. I put a lot of effort into this group, especially now. Holy what even is? How about doing any tips on doing this windshield? Oh. No. Hey, it's me. Cool. You guys see this? The 5%? The 5/20 and then 5% on the shield. This post blew up. Dude got shared over like 500 times. It was crazy. So these short form videos, this is what I'm doing on TikTok, posting it to Reels, sharing it to the group. So a lot of these have come out lately. So this is a quick bit on how to reverse roll in under a minute. Yes, I know. I look like Bill Harder. It's Hater, but okay. And then we have other people sharing. Oh, this is cool. People ask me on social media, how did I do it? And to be honest, I didn't even know. I just grew up watching my dad's and uncle's tinting, so window tinting has always been in my blood. I didn't have time to practice. I just had it, just had to get it done. I started watching Matt Blackmer in YouTube. Ha, it's me. Back in the day, and after learning some good techniques, I just started tinting cars on my own skills and techniques. Dude, that's super cool. English is not my first. That's super cool. Thanks, man. I like when people take videos of how they do things, too, and share it to the group. It's really helpful for everybody. I learn stuff from everybody. Why can I not pin this? Oh, I gotta switch. Oh, it's gonna refresh. Ugh. Hang on. Now we're... Facebook, you're looking real bad right now. All right, let's go back down, see if we can find it, because I want to pin it to the top. That was really nice. Sweet. Pin to featured. Because I like to pin helpful stuff. Look, this is Marco, film trainer. He's got a Volvo one. We need to change your aspect ratio. Yeah, this one. I feel bad for this one. I got to make a response to this. I got to remember this, so I'll leave this up. Who's that guy? I'm going to fix his TikTok while he's here. Oh, dang. Sometimes it happens, like people share and then they reshare because they don't know it posted. What the heck? How much would all charge for a Pontiac Firebird? Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, join the group. It's really nice. The marker method. Oh, is this because I made a video on it? I'm just kidding. We'll have to pin this too. This will be helpful. Dang, look at those colors. Good stuff. All right. We're back. Oops. Where's the thing? Oh, yeah, I got to bring it back over. Let's do this back window now. I thought about buying one of those portable carports for tinting. It does work. Wind is definitely something to consider, too. There's something that I want to try. It's probably going to be a long time before I try it. I don't know. But somebody posted a video with a screen one. So it had like a canopy top, screens on the sides, and he was holding a piece of tint. And as soon as he walked into the screened area, the wind died down. And it was like, huh, that's interesting. I figured you'd need a hard wall, not like a screen. Figured the wind would still whip through that. So it's something to consider. How do you charge per car? I just start everything for all the sides and the rear at $290. I was spending more time as I've kind of settled into the shop doing videos and stuff like that. So I've just been charging more than I would have normally done for all like the sides and the rear. And then $350 for carbon, $450 for ceramic. So this is Pro Nano 20 that we're doing all the way around in 20%. So this is a $450 job. All right, so somebody had mentioned earlier about the sides not staying down while they're shrinking. So we'll talk a little bit about that and try and give some suggestions and ideas as to why that's happening. Because it's always hard to say for sure. But I always start off with taking a squeegee to the outside of the window. That way it's perfectly clean. There's no like dirt residue or anything. And then I'll tack the film down in the middle and anchor it. And I'll pay attention to how that anchors on the sides. So the whole point of your dryer sheet, your dry shrink prep, is that it acts like a little bit of a grip. So you can see if I move the film, it's kind of floating. As soon as I press it down, it's not moving anymore. Whatever you use underneath, you need to act that way. So when you anchor it down over on the sides, press your edges down, they should pretty much be tacked up. Now you don't need a lot to tack down on the edges, so if you have overspray on your vehicle, or you're just using weak sheets or whatever, you can wet your hand, just take a little bit of water, and you can put it down on the sides, and this will work for a little bit, depending on how hot it is, and you can use water to act as an anchor. You can also wet your hand and anchor your film in the center underneath the film. You don't have to just do it to the dryer sheet, but if you use a good one and you prep your window, it should stick fine. So then you pick up your heat gun, and the next part to pay attention to is don't over tighten these edges. So the more you shrink this, it'll get closer to the glass. Like I've said, they look like little beach waves headed into shore. The smaller and tighter that they get, eventually, like, you're anchoring it down because it's getting smaller, it's compressing, it's pulling all that material together. So eventually it's gonna pull so hard that it lets go and it's not gonna settle on the sides. So I have this laid down flat right now, and I'm just gonna heat it up. And now you can see, like, these lines are telling you that it's pulling. So nothing got shrunk on the side. You can shrink closer to the edge, just don't ever, because what happens is you get a finger, you shrink the sideways fingers, and then it ruins the film. So these are really close to the glass now. Give some perspective on that. See how those look? So that's fine to sweep down to the next area where the film is starting to bunch up, and then you can you're just putting heat on the bulky areas, getting them to lay flatter to the glass, and once they lay flatter to the glass, and you just sweep that out. So all the work is being done with the felt card, with a heat gun. The felt card, a hard card, a glove, those are all tools to help organize your film. So especially with the top corners, what I often notice is if you lay this flat, you get up to a certain point where, like, there's more film that bunches up here. You can pick up your film, you can sweep this corner out, and you'll notice like it's like a little bow here. So some of that really wants to just get swept out on the side, and then your top corner moves a little bit. But see this little, if there's a little finger right here, you can push it back up to the top. You can ignore it and press it out when you install it. You might have to put a little heat there. Do you think air between the film and the glass is important? Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's honestly something that I don't think I've ever really mentioned, but that's what we mean when we say like float. So your tint is essentially is like, it's almost like floating on a cloud. Like there's a whole bunch of air underneath of that. As soon as you take a spot and tack this up, anything that I push into it is gonna just try and fold on itself. So pick up and release the film from sticking to the glass, and then only when you heat it and smooth it out, that's like you're checking to see how your shrink is going. So you like push this, smooth this out. You can see it's really, really close to the glass. Like this area, see this? It's not flat on the glass right now. Smooth it so it is. And then these are kind of going at an angle here. A little bit, not much, but I'm gonna smooth it out in the direction that they look like they wanna go, down to the next spot that I shrank, flatten out my side edge, and then continue to shrink. Thank you for the order. So this, if I just try and shrink this on the side, it's not gonna go well. Press it up. And then when you get a little bit into this top, if it starts pulling off of the sides, flatten it out. So direct those fingers so they're pointed up. You're really trying to not shrink at angles, definitely not sideways. You can get away with some little bits here and there. But if you just stick to those few basic things, you can get shrinking really, really quickly. It's not about the time of heat that you're leaving on there and how hot the heat gun's getting. You're watching the film getting sucked down to the glass, and as soon as it starts getting close, you can smooth it out. When it gets too tight, then there's so much tension there, it's not gonna let you smooth it out. It's like trying to stretch a sheet over a mattress that's too big. So it starts off oversized, and then you're just shrinking it down to the right size. And so always think of like those fingers. Oh my God, it works. Thank you. So always pay attention to your film is like a hill, but that finger, as soon as you put heat on it, it wants to do this. It just literally like, the film is doing this. It's just shrinking together, getting smaller, and just going like this. And Christ, thank you for the 5. I really appreciate it. No light, risky. Just a little bit. Sometimes I'll tell you what. So we learned this recently over the past couple weeks. When I'm shooting video and showing how to cut film and everything, this lighting is so perfect. When you're trying to see through a little bit, it's kind of like putting a little mask over what you're doing. So It's really nice for showing all the tint. I can see little air pockets very easily when I install the tint. But when we back the car up, you can see the water getting pressed out of the window because there's way less glare on the windows in sharper lighting. So the difference is like canopy lighting basically versus like just direct lighting. So for some of these videos that we've made, we literally will back the car up, get a couple of shots, pull the car back forward, get a couple more shots, and just do that back and forth. Every time we do a back window now, as I'm installing it, I then jump to the outside of the car, clean off the glass, because people freak out. They think soapy water on the outside of the glass is in the tint. They have like one dimension that they think in when they're watching video. It helps honestly explain a little bit more why people think that if I look at a door and it looks that dark here and I open it and then all of a sudden it looks lighter, it's like, oh, that tint works in two directions. Like, or one direction, not quite. No, it's the same on both sides. It's just your light sources. That's why that TikTok craze blew up so much. Because when somebody drives in a 5% and they can't see in it, then in their mind, the person driving that can't see out of it. That's how much people don't, as a whole, that's how much people don't understand what we do. So then you have to consider those things when you're making videos and content and stuff. You know, like when I make a video on shrinking a door and I post it on TikTok, nobody knows why the fuck I'm even doing that. So you kind of have to like set it up and explain it. We take too much for granted. All right, so these headrests, they pop out. Thank you, Honda. Ooh, keys right there. Let's move that. I'm gonna throw a towel over this, and we'll get this back window in. I noticed that on my truck. Yeah, no kidding. I'm gonna see what my TikTok's up to. Dang! That's cool. So yesterday's video, this one. That video did 200,000 views on TikTok. The Walmart one is up to like 3.7. This back window tool one, or shrinking video, I made a TikTok on shrinking that did 4.7 million views on TikTok. That's insane. That's so cool to see. That's why I enjoy the TikTok trend. It's getting people that otherwise weren't curious, and it's giving an opportunity to explain to customers that's how it actually works. Exactly. There's like annoying people in my Facebook group that go, why are customers allowed in here? And it's like, well, the more you can educate the average person, the better it is for everybody. I mean, the only reason ceramic and carbons and all these different options are more talked about now is because more people know about them. And more shops are installing it. More customers are being educated about it. And it's up to them to decide if they care about it or not. But when more people know, it's better for everybody. I can't tell you how many people just don't even know that you can tint your car. Just think about that one. Like, you're in tint. How many people do you think actually even know that you can tint a car or not. They just, oh, I don't know, I bought it and it came like that. People ask, so is it a film that goes on the inside? Is it like a spray? I thought it goes on the inside. It's like people just don't know. So you need that constant stream of like education out there. And then there's people that are growing up, new people that are learning, all types of stuff. It's better for everybody. Is that the last one you did? That was a good video? Yep. Yep, that was yesterday's video. We spent a couple days trying to figure out the creative on that one. That was tough. The Mac dough was a happy coincidence. I was pretty proud of that one, though. You gotta love the magic of film that's on automotive glass. We try and make it exciting. I think I made my headset. I hope I hope I didn't make my headset worse, because now it is definitely slumping over more. I forgot a bulldozer. Where's the side? Oh, there it is. I got two of them there. See? You guys, did any of you see that short video about the back window tools? I've had countless live streams with those tools in them. And then I got a lot of comments where people never knew how to use the tail fin. I think I need it on these quarters. This is actually like a perfect back window for exactly why all three of these are super helpful. So, I can reach the main parts just fine with a side swipe. I can reach pretty much all of it with a bulldozer. It's just the bulldozer's a little bulky, but it's really good at sweeping behind the brake lights. And then the corners get a little tight, but it's still manageable. And then the tail fin, you'll see, is really good for like tight corners. My glasses, oh, the clay bar is stuck in the box. Just get it out as best you can. It would help to like just leave the whole thing sitting in warm water for a little bit so the whole thing can soften up, and you'll be able to pull it out a little bit easier. Those hang on, let me talk about that in a second. Yeah, the golf course, damn, that sucks. Yeah, they're definitely scammers as far as I can tell. They're a pretty convincing one. They definitely do not want you to call for a chargeback. But I just yelled at them on the phone until, because they said they would charge once a year for 5. they did the first one, and 6 months later they did a second one, and I said no. And they're like, "Oh, it's under your contract." I'm like, "Show me my contract." They're like, "Well, it says it on your blah, 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 blah." And then they couldn't pull anything that did it. And they're like, "Well, we already sent the artwork." I'm like, "I never sent you anything, and it still is supposed to be printed soon. So just don't print it." Yeah, I got in an argument with them on the phone, and then they gave me my money back when I said I was going to do a chargeback and report them. And then they changed their tone pretty quickly. Definitely a scam. All right, let's get this in here. I need to get a tail fin? Yes, you do. So in most situations, you don't need them, but in that few situations, you do, and they're amazing. So this is why I really like them. Spray. Squeegee from the center. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the clay bar sticking. Man, these just clay bars, they stick to everything. Best thing I can recommend is whenever you have a scrap liner and you're done with your day, take your clay bar and just wrap it, put it on a piece of clear liner, or just wrap it in a little liner, and it'll release really easy from any window tint liner. It's fine. That or wax paper, but we're all tinters, so we all have tint liners. All right, so I'm able to sweep fine behind this brake light, no problem. Then I can get most of the way across if I want to do this little swoosh swoosh. Or I can take my side swipe, I can get most of that over. And then tail fin, that wedges really nicely into corners like this. And it's so flexible that it just pulls right out. What are we doing? So I use whichever one I feel is best for the situation. And I have yet to find a situation where you're not fine with having those three tools. I've never needed to use anything extra. I like the stroke doctor. Yes, stroke doctor is a great alternative to the side swipe. If you got chonky hands. I used nothing but the stroke doctor in the beginning. And then I came around to the side swipe, but I like the side swipe better now. But stroke doctor, great alternative. So why are these not? I got two. I just missed them. I have club hands. Oh, I'm missing it. It's right here. It's like that should come out. Right along the Froster boys. Yeah, I think it's worth it to get all of them and then make your own decisions. Like, there's other tools that are out there that I just don't use. People always have their own preferences. All right, so yeah, this corner and edge right down there. Let me, oh, where's my green? Where's my main my mean green. They're both on the same cart. All right, let's try that again. Bulldozer action right on that bottom. See if my tail fin's gonna swipe out that corner there. Perfect. I've bought everything that I've seen you use on the live streams. That's a good thing. There's a reason. It's really just refining down everything that I've used, but I still have a certain way I do things. So I just use whatever tools I feel are best for the way that I do things. So it's a pretty good choice. Good deal. Yay! Nice. Looking good. So, we're pretty much done now. A little bit of touch up. We'll be all set. How much for this type of tinting? So we did 20% Pro Nano ceramic on all the sides of the rear. This one is $450. But, you know, we took our sweet time on it. We had a couple issues. We talked about slip solution here for a while. So, out in the field, they have to be a little bit faster than that. So, at the most, if I have a busy schedule, it was pretty much like set up for 2 hours. I'd try and have all the sides and the rear knocked out within like hour and a half, and then moving on to the next one. So, big part is just charging it enough to make it worth the time to do it. Lately I've been doing so ceramic on the windshield, that's going to be an extra $250, so it'll be $7. Windshields start at $150, $200 for carbon, $250 for ceramic. And there's sometimes that I've run like, you know, if it's slower, I'll run like kind of a special if somebody's going all out in ceramic. Windshield is a big upgrade, especially for ceramic, and just adding a windshield to your bottom line is going to make a big difference. So, you know, if somebody's just calling for a windshield, that's where those prices really matter because we're scheduling one session for your car essentially. And then if you're doing it as a package, then you already have the car in, you're already cleaning stuff. It can be a part of your job. It still takes extra time, but it's not as much as just doing like an individual. So I'd be, with any of your pricing, I would be kind of conscious about that stuff. Figure out what your customers are interested in. But whenever, like, don't overcomplicate your pricing. You know, some people like to sit down and try and plan this all out so they have an answer for absolutely every situation. And I just don't think you need to do that because you'll take like an individual, have an idea of what you're going to charge. But for example, if I've got a guy that's interested in doing his full car, I would like to also do a windshield on it too. But if I've got somebody for 2 front doors and a windshield, then it's more about like the film types that are getting done. So there's what are called pricing ladders, and you just want to organize things in a way that they make sense. Every company does it. Every company has it, whether you like it or not. It's just a smart way of doing business. So I'm never trying to sell anybody something that they're not genuinely interested in doing. So if I, like, seriously, quoted this one with the standard film, went through like the whole heat box demo, listed my pricing, and we talked some about doing a windshield, and no pressure. Hey, if you don't want it, like, yeah, I know it's a big expense. If you don't want to do it today, it's always available to you in the future. And then he wanted to do ceramic on all the sides and the rear, and then he'll see how he likes that. We might do a windshield in the future, which is pretty cool. Pretty good. What time is it? Dang, you got a bunch of them today. Thank you. Ooh, 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 I felt it. Yep, don't let a clay bar stick to that liner, and just, because I had a tendency to always leave it on a towel, and then I forget about it, come back the next day, and it's just like completely stuck. And it like ruins your towel. Cannon. Hey, what's up? Christ. With the 5. Thank you. Should have waited. I got you. Thanks for all the support today. I appreciate it. I give a $10 break if they do the windshield at the same time and the size in the back. Yeah, that's fair. Anything that kind of just makes it a little more attractive, because it really is. Like, it's a big jump, and when you're talking about adding, like, a lot to any one particular job, it's just frankly going to be out of some people's budgets. So I wouldn't necessarily, like, everybody is always asking about, like, how much is it for my particular vehicle? So I always hated seeing when somebody would have a set price on something and then 3 months later they have a sale on it, and oh, I just bought it too soon. Like I hate that. So everything is so people are used to calling, asking for quotes on everything automotive related. So I feel like your pricing can be a little flexible, especially, you know, it's a little slower now. It's busier. You have cars that are more difficult than others. And then, so don't feel like you always have to have some sort of like a spreadsheet with your exact pricing on, like, this is how much I charge per window. It's like, that just, it can make it a little difficult. Like, because if you charge per window on the sides, like some are longer, some are shorter, some are easier, some are, like, there's so many little variables there that at the end of the day, I just started pricing things on pretty much the amount of time that it was going to take me to do it, and a lot of things just average out in that. So I used to have sedans be cheaper than SUVs, and now since I sit on here with everything, like I spend literally like 3 hours on the car, then it's going to get charged for 3. How do you feel like quarter windows should impact their overall job? I used to charge extra for like the front quarter windows. Kind of just depended on how much of a pain they were. So it just depends on what your pricing is. I think it's well worth charging a little extra for them, but I wouldn't say it's because of those quarter windows. I would just say that's what the price of the car is. And then when you start pointing out individual pricing on windows, then people start to like think about it too much. You just, yeah, that's just how much that car is. Because you know, it's like, well, normally I charge this, but because you have those front quarter windows, I have to, don't say any of that. Just be, this is what the price is. Too much information. In the end, it's all about the experience. That's a huge part of it. Take care of your people, do a good job. Alrighty. Oh, yeah, I gotta hop off here. We're gonna shout out some super chats. I gotta hop off because I spent way too much time. Where's my... All right, we're gonna shout out some super chats. In my proposal, I have a pic of the extra windows and how they feel like you... oh, no, there's 2. Sorry. In my proposal, I have a pic of the extra windows, and I circled it so they can see why it's more. Okay, my... Okay. Big shout-outs to Christ, Film Trainer, Kendall, Daniel Reyna. Thank you so much for all the support today. I really, really appreciate it. Okay, so on that note, my only 2 cents on that is like, unless it was like, hey, my buddy got his windows tinted here, and then you're coming over as like a referral, and you're expecting to get the same price, and then they have extra windows, so yeah, this is like, then you can explain it. Unless people are asking. To me, it's kind of more about like, oh, I got extra windows, so it's extra work. It's more about, this is what the vehicle is, and this is what the price is, and this is how long I'm going to take on doing the car. Not so much about trying to pick apart the individuality of like there's extra windows or anything on it. That's only like my 2 cents. So like if you send somebody a proposal that's really vague, and it says like, hey, front doors are typically this. If you have front quarters, then they're a little bit extra. Like, it's not a bad thing. It's just the proposals are always like, I send them out as an individual thing, and my pricing encompasses like all of that. So when they're asking about like a XT5 versus like an Explorer, I might, like, the pricing could be different from one proposal to the next, but it's not really going to specify why, because it's an individual getting an individual quote. if that makes sense. So, alrighty. I got to take off here. So, because it is 4 o'clock already. I used to start these in the morning. Now it's 12. Alrighty, guys. I will take off. Y'all have a good one. Join the Facebook group because I am definitely commenting and talking to people in there. So, definitely hang out there. I gotta answer this. Oh my God, it's Jay from Triage. Cool. What's up, man?